A day without sex is a day wasted, my man. And he just thrusts. He's just thrusted not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times, chat. 4 times. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content on my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Now we must get to tonight's review. I got a lot of content to get through tonight, chat. And the first thing we're going to be talking about is Birdemic, Shock and Terror. So, chat, you guys know I like to ask you a very specific question before I get into the nitty-gritty details of these movies. And that is, chat, how many of you have seen Birdemic, Shock and Terror? I'm curious, chat. This is the first Birdemic. I'm not reviewing the second one. I might review in the future. I might do a commentary for it as well. But we are reviewing the first Birdemic film, chat, the 2010 American independent film, as it says. So on Wikipedia. Independent, sure. Oh Lord. I guess I saw a special showing of the RiffTrax version theater. Oh, that's fun. It was available on Amazon too. I think you can rent it on Amazon. Seen the RiffTrax version? A lot of people seen the RiffTrax version. I haven't even heard of this movie until now. This is too tall. And then only clips. I watched the first 10 minutes and then turned it off. This movie's literally watched. It's pretty bad. No, I'll explain why. It's pretty bad, chat. I imagine RiffTrax would be much more entertaining. That's the way you should watch. Should watch it. Or if a commentary chat like I did. I did a commentary for this movie. Check out my commentary. Alex Miller, I've not Blackstone. It's on Tubi. I saw it a few weeks ago. There you go. Helen Berger. I've only seen Fellas's and others' reviews of it. Bill Casey, you ever see Armored Quest? Oh, yeah, I've seen Armored Quest. No, that was fun. I like the animated stuff. I know that Critical Role is doing the same thing, which looks pretty fun. This is the one with Alan Bogg. Yep. Oh, this is Alan Bogg. Oh, very much so. Mr. No Charisma. Yes. Soul-sucking charisma. That's him. If you have charisma, he'll suck it from you. And you think he's going to absorb it for himself? No. He'll just absorb it, digest it, and shit it out, and continue to talk to you, chat. That Alan Bogg. That guy. CDR Sparks, salutations to you. Hope you're doing very well. Living long and prosper, I hope. Deadpool, welcome. I've not seen it, but Whitney Moore is great. Whitney Moore is very cute in this film. I will say that. No, Natalie in the movie, I guess she's the best actress technically. She went through the fucking ringer in this film, chat. We'll get into the nitty-gritty details about this movie. There's some shitty behind-the-scenes stuff that I was reading about on the Wikipedia, chat. I did my research. Jason Bear, I'm planning to check it out again. Judy Carmen, thank you. Not the good kind of sucking. No, not the good kind of sucking at all. I mean, there's implied sucking in this movie, sexual intercourse, chat, but you don't see anything. Look, at some point in the future, will you play Telltale's Wolf Among Us? I actually have played it on stream. Check out my YouTube channel, Class in a Glass. I might play it again someday. I've also, for all Telltale games I have played, I've done Wolf Among Us, I've done all the Walking Deads, I've done Batman, and I think that's it. I think that's all the ones I've played, at least on stream. He's about to get his soul sucked. What's my favorite? Is that what he's saying in Mortal Kombat? I thought it's like, I love it when he's sucking souls. When Cabal says that's my favorite line from that movie. Oh, what a terrible film. She's gorgeous and she did what she could. That's the most appropriate thing to say, Kaz Faye. You nailed it. Stizzy man, what's good, Chris? Did you see all the New Orleans? I did. It looks so cool. So this is good shit. We got a variety of you. Some of you have seen it. Some of you have seen clips. Some of you have seen the RiffTrax version. That's perfect, chat. I'm glad. I saw this movie really like for the first time when I did my commentary for it. Like much like you, I'd seen clips online, see like, oh, people mocking. Maybe I saw like a RiffTrax compilation like on YouTube, like the best bits of this RiffTrax compilation. And I thought it was very funny. What I was unaware of, chat, is because, the whole premise of the movie, I mean, this is an infamous independent film. Came out in 2010, chat. Had a budget of $10,000, and that is obvious. Actually, I feel like you could do more with $10,000. I'm like, I'm suspect. Because 10,000, like, even for an independent film, like, you can come up with you can do something with $10,000. I'm sorry, but it's a fucking fact. And the fact that this is the best they can do, I'm like, bullshit. Bullshit. I think I've seen movies that have cost like around this much, and they have been infinitely better, chat. I honestly, I think it's just like a lack of talent, both in front of the camera and behind the camera, chat. But this is the product of director James Nguyen, chat. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Actually, you know what? I don't give a shit if I'm saying director James Nguyen's name wrong, chat. I don't care, because this guy, from what I've read, not the nicest person in the world. I mean, not only, yeah, he came up with the whole I mean, I think he came up with the concept, chat. It was written by him. He was able to get these actors, and they spent, I believe, several weeks filming this movie, and it seems okay. So what I'm seeing here from cast member interviews, that it was a nightmare experience, because this guy is a fucking egomaniac. Apparently, he was abusive on set, verbally abusive on set, chat. He was a prima donna, refusing to talk to certain actors. Because of how he was acting towards other people, because he had no permits to film in any of these locations, chat. Because you just notice people in the background, like, looking like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is kind of odd. He had no permits, and they would be thrown out of parks and all these other, venues, and just other areas and things. And apparently he would yell at people who were just enjoying themselves during the day, like in a park, and he would yell at them, and the other actors would say, "You can't yell at these people. We don't have a permit here." And he would verbally abuse them and ignore them for the rest of the shoot. The guy sounds like a major fucking prick. And so it's like, that's kind of sad, because you kind of like, there is something charming about like a bad movie that, that goes viral, and like the whole cast comes together, and it's a brief sensation. They have their 5 minutes of fame. Like, there's something to that. He was like, oh, I can have fun with that. But everything I've heard about this guy, he's a piece of shit. Nguyen, his name is Nguyen. I'm gonna call him Nougat. His name is Nougat to me, chap. I don't care. Because he doesn't seem like a good guy, chat. Does not seem like a good guy in any capacity. Yeah, as I said before, chat, the movie had a budget about $10,000. A reception, I mean, awful. Awful reception. But it became a viral hit. It became a viral hit. It actually made money at various screenings. They toured this film around the country, I think in several countries. And so it did well. It made a lot of money. They did do a sequel called Birdemic 2, The Resurrection. I have not seen that movie, so I have no idea. I have no idea what that film is all about. But Mr. Nguyen, I'll call him Nguyen, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Not a good person, so I don't mind talking shit about this product, chat. But the thing about this movie that's interesting for me to review something like this is because literally nothing happens for 47 minutes. Shit, I timed it. The first time, this movie's an hour and a half long. It is 90 minutes. It is like maybe 91 minutes long. And it's not until I timed it, chat, because I was scrolling through the movie again just today, just kind of refresh my mind about it. And I was scrolling through, and it's not until the exact 47:00, chat, the 47-minute mark, where things actually start to happen. Where the birds actually start attacking. These terrible little GIF images fly down and start eviscerating people. It takes 47 minutes. You're thinking, well, Chris, what is happening for the first 47 minutes? Nothing. Nothing is happening, chat. This whole movie is just characters. Like, you could tell that we don't have really a script. And so we're just going to follow these characters and their mundane lives, chat. We're introduced to Rod, who works for this environmental agency selling these solar panels and, green-friendly technologies and stuff, chat. And this girl, Natalie, who is going to be a model with Victoria's Secret. And I actually believe that, because she is quite pretty. And this is apparently is the actress. The actress's name is Whitney Moore, who Mr. Nougat was very rude to and verbally abusive to throughout the entire production. It was like, that sucks. Like, I actually buy her as like, yeah, I could see her as a Victoria's Secret model. There's a scene where they show all of her off, chat, clearly. And fucking the actor who plays Rod, Alan Bagg, is just like, I approve of this. Like, are you aroused right now, Alan? I don't know. You would never know, chat, based on his lack of reaction. But that's all it is. It's just people going on dates, people playing basketball, meetings, setting up solar panels. That's all it is. That's really all it is. Watching news reports of environmental disasters that we don't see. That it's like, it's just so fucking boring. Thank you, Stranger Shoe. Thank you. How many days was that? Stranger Shoe, thank you so much for the 5 biddies. I do appreciate that. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. At least in the room, there was more happening in there. I'll give, you got to give Tom Wiseau that. Like, at least there was something consistently entertaining about that movie. The first 47 minutes, no. There really isn't, chat. I mean, I'll do a proper scene by scene by scene, as I said it would, chat. But the opening is most of this movie is B-roll. Of them just placing the camera down like in a car and just going down the road, not for like a couple seconds, no, for like minutes, like several minutes, Chad. We have all the names coming up here, directed by, Nutmeg and all that, and then it's not until like the car stops, Rod gets out of the car, Chad, and this guy, Alan Bagg, I don't mean to be mean to the guy, but my God, he has no charisma. He has a lot of these actors, they are obviously not actors. This is their first time acting, I think probably in anything. I don't think they even probably acted in high school. I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell. And he is just throughout the entire movie so robotic. It's like, are you real? Are you not like a synthetic individual? Are you like Ash from Alien, 1979, Ridley Scott's Alien? Because actually Ash had more humanity, chat, and he was trying to fucking kill everybody using the alien. But no, this guy, he parks his fucking car, and this is the dialogue we get. Most of the dialogue is just like inane conversations. He parks his car. It takes place in Half Moon Bay, California. I don't know if it's a real place. Probably is. He parks it because you see Half Moon Bay everywhere. Parks the car, goes into a restaurant, sits down. The waitress comes over and says, "Hi." And the editing in this is awful because the camera's on the waitress. She says hi. The camera cuts and he goes, "Hi." Cuts back to the waitress. "Would you like a menu?" Cuts back to good old Rod, chat. "Yes, I would." And she's like, "Okay," gives him the fucking menu, and he proceeds to look at it, chat, for not like, okay, we don't need any of this. But no, he looks at that menu for at least 30 seconds before anything else happens. It's like, Jesus Christ, something happened, and thankfully something kind of does, chat, because we see this girl named Natalie, chat. She struts into the restaurant. She sits her ass down, and just, but something, like, Rod's like, "Oh, Natalie." He even recognizes her, chat. He's showing some form of emotion, confusion, bowel discomfort, like something is going on inside of him once he sees this girl. He's like, "Oh, something's there, chat." But he eats his meal. He has a wonderful meal, chat, of water and nothing in the bowl. There's nothing in that bowl, chat. But he enjoys that good old-fashioned air. And the thing is, Natalie, she gets up because she finishes her meal, chat, and she leaves the restaurant. And, fucking Rod, big dick Rod, chat, he's like, I gotta go after Natalie. He pays for his invisible food, chat, and he chases after. He goes, Natalie from high school? And she turns around and goes, "Oh my God, Rod from high school? Yes. It is me, Rod. Oh, wow. I have not seen you for so long." And that is the level of dialogue. They just talk like normal people. They can't. It's so staged. They obviously can't remember their lines. They're probably reading off of cue cards or something. Probably didn't have a working script, but that's literally what it is. And they hit it off, Chad, apparently, and they exchange phone numbers because there's something about Rod that Natalie finds so incredibly attractive. They have last names. I'm not exaggerating. This is the movie. I wish I was facetious. I wish I was being sarcastic. This is the level of dialogue we are working with. It's kind of like maybe like a middle school play. I think that's probably not even high school too. We have not. Well, let's hold our horses. Let's hold them back now. We're not at high school level play. We're at, like, I would say middle school, possibly 5th grade, elementary school. I mean, right before you get to the middle school. Maybe you're in 5th grade. That's how they talk to each other. And They agreed to they exchange phone numbers and they both go home to their separate homes. He can't fucking wait a minute, chat. This is, it's a 2010, so he flips. Oh, it's a flip phone, so he flips it open. He texts Natalie. It's like, and it takes him so long. Just remember with the flip phones, you'd have to press the keys because they didn't have like a keyboard, and so you have to press the keys like fucking multiple times to get the letter you want. Chat. It's like fuck no, I don't want a 3. I want no. God damn it, and you gotta like go back and so this is not edited out. He just says is like, would you like to go on a date with me, Natalie? And she opens her flip phone, looks and goes, hold on. Yes, send. And it's like, oh, he scored, chat. It's gonna happen. They're gonna go on a date. And it's not just one date. It's not just one. Like, that would be kind of cool premise. Okay, we're setting this up. These two people from high school meet each other, and they go on this date, and it's anarchy right after. Maybe they fuck afterwards, chat. Like, this is your opening. This is like your first 15 minutes of the movie. Let's say that. Let's like the 10, 15 minutes. Boom. They have sex. They wake up, and the fucking birds attack. That's how you do it, chat. Let's get to the killer birds. No. 47 minutes of this shit, nearly an hour. We're 13 minutes shy of 60 minutes of them going on dates, of them talking about what they do. Barely ever showing it, just talking about it. And, but the thing is, good old Rod, he's got to tell his best friend, Jack, Big Dick Rick, that he just scored a date with Natalie, the fucking hottie from high school. And we see some really awkward basketball playing from these two guys, chat. It's like if you, the equivalent, chat, I'll be a little self-deprecating. It's like if you watched me and my doppelganger play basketball, chat. Gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be fucking awkward. Not even funny, just awkward and a little sad. A little sad, chat. I will say that. And so they're playing basketball, and they got to use both hands on the ball because they can't keep track of it with one hand, chat. It's too hard. And fucking Rod, because he's like the main character, he gets to score all the baskets, chat. That's what happens. And then they stop playing basketball, and the thing is, like, they didn't have, like, a proper boom mic, and so the audio is just really hard to understand because they're outside. Anytime they're outside, it's like I can hear the wind whooshing and rushing through. It's like, Jesus Christ, just mic them up or something so I can hear them. At some points in the movie, they have mics on, and you hear them like rush on the mic by accident as they turn their fucking heads to talk to each other. It's like, oh my God, Jesus. And, good old Rod says, hey, Rick. Yes, Rod? I just scored a date with Natalie. Whoa, the blonde hottie from high school? Yes. Where you gonna go? It's like that. He's like, I don't know. I think we're just gonna go get dinner, maybe some drinks, maybe go to that Oriental restaurant. This is dated. It's a little dated. No, we can't use that word anymore. Don't use that word. He's like, whoa, that's really cool. And then after the date, you're gonna fucking bone her, right? Dude, I don't want to do that. And we get one of my absolute favorite lines in the movie, chat. A day without sex is a day wasted, my man. And he just thrusts. He's just thrusted. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times, chat. 4 times. That's the best line in the movie. That's like, there you go. You're not gonna get better than that at this point. And then they just like, okay, you can cut it there, but no, we have to see them walking back to their cars, putting the basketball they were struggling to bounce on the court, and watch them drive away. We have to see all that, Chad. It's very important. Better than sex, says Stranger Shoe. After that, Chad, after that, we then cut to Natalie. She goes to talk to her mom, who might be her real mom for all I know. And all it is, it's the same conversation where her mom, by the way, she's the Aunt May kind of mom, chat, because for whatever reason, she has the biggest spread of cold cuts, eggs, and breakfast sausage on the table. Who are you feeding? Your daughter doesn't live with you. Who is this food for? Why do you have a stack of cooked Vienna sausages? What is this? It doesn't make any fucking sense. But she's there anyway. I guess they're going to have a big fucking party. I don't know. We never see anyone else in the movie, chat. Very few people are here. Very few people get speaker roles, except the fucking rando in the background going, Are they making a movie? What the fuck is Peter? Everybody knows you love Mary Jane, Peter. Tell me, and that's the thing. Natalie, she goes there, and it's all. I just don't understand what the filmmaker thinks. I want to show Natalie go to the door, knock on. It's like this, all this. Knock on the door. Mother answers it. Natalie, Mom, come inside, Natalie, my daughter. Let's go sit down. Would you like copious amounts of breakfast sausage? That's what it is. And so she's like, Mom, I have something to tell you. Yes, Natalie. She's like, I just met Rod from high school. Oh, that boy you love so much. You liked him, didn't you? She goes, Mom, don't say that. I was an awkward teen. I wasn't feeling myself. You've grown into a beautiful woman, Natalie. I'm happy for you and Rod. When do I get to meet him? And he's like, well, we're going to go on a date tonight. I'll tell you how it goes. Natalie, you practice safe sex now. Mom. And then they leave. And then we get to the next scene. Natalie then goes back to her apartment. It's from 2010. Movie's going to come up on its 11th year anniversary, chat. That's where we're going. And so, that's what she says. I really love retirement. That's her whole thing. She has the whole thing about retirement so goddamn great. This darling, like, it's so banal and blasé. You don't remember it. You don't remember. But she goes home. And, she doesn't go home. Her and Rod, they go on their date at a restaurant at the Oriental restaurant, chat, and all they do is just talk about what they do. Rod says, I work for this, a green company. We're introducing these green technologies to businesses, trying to sell them, fucking solar panels and, wind turbines, all that shit. And she's like, I want to be a Victoria's Secret model. And I'd be like, yeah, I can see it. She's a very beautiful woman. No doubt about that. And then that ends, and the date, then they leave, and then and then we have to fucking drive back. And it's all B-roll of Half Moon Bay. He drops her off. And Rod's like, oh, I want to have sex, like, really bad. What did fucking Big Dick Rick say, chat? A day without sex is a day fucking wasted. Let's see if Rod can pull this off. Fucking takes her to the door, and he's like, can I come up? And she's like, I don't fuck on the first date. And she kisses him, and she goes upstairs. You fucked up, Rod. The day has been wasted. He's like, okay. And he drives away. I mean, I'm glad, he didn't like rape her or something. I don't know what Rod's going to do. He's barely fucking human to begin with. I don't know. So he leaves. Eventually, that's the other thing, because he gets home and he opens his flip phone because, good old Nat just sent him another text, a very long-winded text. Is basically, would you like to go on a double date tomorrow? And he's like, oh. Hold on. Fuck. I gotta do it over. Yes, I would like to go on a double date with you. And it's like, cool. And she's like, I'm gonna get my friend May to go on the date with us. He's like, that sounds great. I'm actually putting too much emotion in my voice. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm putting way too much emotion in my voice, and I apologize. I gotta become less human. I have to, I think I gotta be like Alan Bagg and just rip out a part of my soul, chat, and just offer it. It's just like, I need to be like, I don't know, Robert Patrick, Terminator. Like, even then, Chad, like, I think Robert Patrick and Arnold Schwarzenegger in, like, the Terminator franchise have more of an outward, flamboyant personality than even Rod does. Like, I'm trying to lower myself so hard, Chad. I just can't match the Rod levels. It's too hard for me. It's impressive how little emotion and, like, how little light exists in that man, chat, in his eyes. They're just like a dark abyss when you stare at him. You get lost, and that's when he takes your fucking soul, chat, in his never-ending quest to find a personality, and he never finds it. That's his curse. Nia Brownie, hey Christopher, hey Juicing, and how you doing? Hard hands, Nia Brownie. I'm reviewing Birdemic. Shock and terror. We are about, 25 minutes in the movie at this point, chat. No fucking birds. We do see a bird. We do see some of those terrible GIFs later on, chat, those JPEGs. They've kind of forced the wings to go up and down like that. Like, briefly, they're not killing anybody, but they are there, but they're just kind of flapping their wings doing nothing. I think that comes up in, like, the B-roll date montage. But At this point, Natalie, she calls her best friend Mai. And Mai, she's getting fucking busy. She's not wasting a day, chat, just like Big Dick Rick always says, okay? A day without sex is a day fucking wasted. Funny enough, the person that Natalie's best friend, is fucking in a really creepy hotel room, possibly someone's mother's house, I don't know, kind of got that vibe, chat, is Big Dick Rick. What a coincidence that their best friends are also dating too. And she contacts Mai and she says, hey, listen, I met this guy named Rod. Mai's like, oh, okay. Would you like to go on a double date? When? Tomorrow. Okay. Are you going to ask Big Dick Rick if you want to go on the date? Yes. Okay. Bye. And so then she flops back on the Big Dick Rick chat, who is flaccid as ever. Like, you know, the reason they call him Big Dick Rick chat, he just has a very flaccid, large penis, chat. He's got like something wrong with him. By the way, they're like fully clothed. It just looks like a smut film. No, snuff movie, Chad. It looks like a snuff movie because the lighting's all fucking off. It's really dark. There's like, it's all yellow. And I'm just like, I feel uncomfortable watching this, Chad. It looks like amateur porn, except it's terrible because nothing happens. It's just, she's just wearing a bikini for some reason. Like not even underwear, like a straight bikini. And he's wearing these, these boxer briefs. And the penis is just that's the sound it would make, Chad. You stare at this dick, it makes a sound. Nothing's going on. And Mai slithers on top of Big Dick Rick and goes, honey, yes. You want to go on a date tomorrow? Yes. Cool. And then, Chad, we cut. What's post-production? James Nugent. It's the same guy. Flopping on big dicks. That's what happened. Big flaccid dicks. And then we cut, and then they go to a movie, chat, and it's outside in the parking lot, which I know they did not get permission to film there, because the lighting is awful. You can't hear anybody when they're outside. And they're like in a very public place, like not off on the side of the road, maybe on a beach or something like that, where you're like, okay, I can kind of hear them. This is like, there are so many people, there's dozens of people walking around them. You can hear, witness me. Thank you, XR Gaming, for the raid. Welcome to the stream, my friend. I hope you had a very good stream. Currently reviewing Birdemic, doing a scene by scene breakdown. Birdemic, shock and terror. So, we go to the parking lot, chat, where there are dozens. I love it because there are dozens of people there, and they're all like looking at, like, what the fuck are they doing over there? Are they making a movie? What's going on? And the double date, and they're like, okay, let's go see the movie. And they go in the theater, and then fade to black, and then fade back to the scene, and they're exiting the theater. So we don't even know what they watch. Well, they tell us, chat, and they're like, that inconvenient truth is such a great film, right? Yes, I really liked it. Me too. I feel like I want to go green now for my entire life. Yes, me too. Oh, definitely. Anyway, see you guys later. And they leave. And they just fucking leave. It's like, okay, all right. And then, chat, we just get more mundane aspects of their lives. There's this whole, I don't know if it's a subplot, but apparently Rod and Rick, like, their quest in life is to retire early because they're about to close this big deal for their green company, selling to this major conglomerate who wants to go all green, that's fucking bullshit. And he does this literal PowerPoint. We have to watch this literal PowerPoint presentation for 5 minutes about solar panels and wind turbines. It's like, you're actively making me want to, like, I'm all about that fucking coal, chat. All those fossil fuels. I want all those dead dinosaur babies to pump electricity into my home. Fuck your green energy and fuck this presentation. I'm done. Just please, for the love of God. But apparently, chat, the PowerPoint presentation was so impressive that the company says, despite them having to negotiate and, many other aspects about, like, how do we install this technology, within all of our buildings across the United States, they say, yes, we were going to do this now. The deal has been signed. You did a great job, Rod. Everyone goes, woo, we're all millionaires. They're all instant millionaires, chat. and Rod, because he wants to show that he's doing this for a very good reason, because he believes in the technology, chat. He then goes, and this is odd to me, because he gets solar panels installed on his home, but it's through another company, which I don't understand that at all. But you watch Rod eating breakfast cereal, chat, drinking what looks to be Diet Coke. And I'm just like, why are you mixing those two? Like, what's going on here? He's got the stoner breakfast, chat. You need those fucking, those sweet, you need that high fructose corn syrup, chat, and then that sludgy cereal, which, milk has got, you get like Frosted Flakes, or if you had like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, chat, and you've like poured milk in back in, and it just becomes this sludge mass. That's what this man is eating. And he's watching a news report about all these fucking dead animals showing up on the coast, chat, the west and east coast. But then he hears a knock on the door, and this random man comes in and goes, "Hey, are you ready to install those solar panels?" "Yes, but let's go ahead and sit down and talk about them briefly." And then they talk about fucking solar panels. And I'm just like, okay. And then they go outside the house, and the guy says, "Would you like them on the roof right here?" "Yes." "Okay." And then we transition to the next scene. That's all this is. I mean, I get what the movie's like. We want environmental message for the movie, but it's like, you got to be a little bit better about it. I mean, tell an actual story. Just don't film the mundane lifestyle of this soul-sucking, anti-charismatic man, Rod. It's not helping. Just want me to go green, chat. I'm sorry. And then, chat, for the next, oh my God, I don't know, 10 minutes, we just get a montage of Natalie and Rod just dating and going to the park. All the stuff that they're like, okay, we got to shoot here, but very, very quickly before they kick us out. Going to the park. We actually do see some of the birds, and it's like these little GIF images, chat. They're moving like 2 frames per second or something. It looks really goddamn rough. And they're like looking at the birds and saying, "Oh, aren't the birds majestic?" Yes. They are majestic. It's like, great. I glad we confirmed that. And then, chat, they're like, all right, well, now it's time to consummate the lovemaking, time to consummate the relationship. Because now she has to bring her boyfriend to meet her mom. And they go to the house, and mom's really enjoying retirement. And she's like, "Rod, what do you do for a living?" And it's like, "I sell solar and wind turbines." "Wonderful. That's a fantastic job. How much do you make?" "I'm a millionaire, ma'am." "Wonderful. Are you going to retire earlier?" "Yes, it is my objective to retire at an early age." "I love retirement." "I know you do, Natalie's mom. I know you do." So then they leave. Natalie's mom, who still has, they shot this in the same day, chat, because she's wearing the same exact fucking clothes, and she has all you see the mountain of Vienna sausages in the background. Why do you have that? It's probably been weeks. It's gonna stink up the house. There are wild creatures coming in there and nibbling on it. It's probably just filled with insects and other vermin. Someone's got to get Natalie's mom to like a home or something. She's losing her fucking mind. Anyway, so they go out on the town, and they go to, a bar, which has no one in it. Has no one in it, chat. And you have this waiter who somehow is an even worse actor than Rod, chat. But thankfully, he's like, "I have brought your drinks. Here is your drinks. Enjoy yourself." And he leaves. And then we have this one guy on stage, chat, who's just singing a song. But he's kind of like sitting over a song that's already playing. He has no other like guy in drums. There's no like another guitarist. It's just him. It's just him sitting over the song to Rod and Natalie, chat. And Rod and Natalie get up to dance, and it is the most awkward white people dance imaginable. Chat. You think I'm rhythmless Phil Collins, chat? Fucking take a look at Rod, all right? It's like if you combine the dancing abilities of Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and me, and if it was a person. It's not going to work out, chat. It's a sight to behold, but it's a sight you don't want to see. Natalie kind of is like, she's kind of grooving to the beat, chat. She's kind of moving like Natalie's. I mean, maybe it's just because everyone else is so bad. I gotta attach myself to somebody in this film to get through it. So I was always on Natalie's side through most of the movie. I just kind of liked her, and she was pretty. She's a very pretty woman. No doubt about that. But after the random white people gyrating chat, they have a few too many drinks and they're like, we got to go to a hotel. I don't think I'm good enough to drive. And so they go to a very ill-lit hotel room chat. And I'm just like, this is another snuff film that's waiting to happen. Rod takes off all his clothes, or at least, keeps the boxer briefs on, chat, because we can't show any nudity in this. We can't have anything interesting happening. And he's just standing in the middle of the room, chat. Like, he's like, I don't know what's going to happen next. And then Natalie, she comes out of the bathroom in this blue brassiere, this blue bra, chat, and these blue panties. And you know what? I'll say this. I absolutely buy her as a possible Victoria's Secret model. I was like, you know what? That is the most realistic and most believable thing in this movie so far. She's a very beautiful woman. I was like, I get it. But then, because she's like showing off, and she's like, yeah. And the camera like pans like up and then back down. And she goes, what do you think, Rod? And Rod goes, you are very beautiful. These fucking long pauses. Rod is just like, am I? At that point, I'm like, honey, you got to get out of there. You got to call someone. This could have turned into a whole different movie very quickly. And then she just flops backwards on the bed, and this soul-sucking human of a man climbs on top of her. And then we just get a very long scene of them kissing, chat. There is no sex. You don't hear anything. It's just two people kissing each other, and in a very ill-lit, very yellow-looking room. And every time, like, I just don't like this. I just don't like this at all. And it goes on for about 30 seconds, and then it transitions, and we're outside. We're outside. We're looking Half Moon Bay, chat. There's not a soul outside. By the way, we are about 46, and I'd say 46 and a half minutes when we finally go to the outside world. That's where we are right now. No birds have happened. No bird attacks have happened yet, chat. This is called Birdemic, and there's maybe about 35 minutes left of the film. It's like, okay. So, you following me? So we cut outside, and we just see this ordinary day. We cut to, like, the supermarket. People are walking around. We go to these little plant and, these little produce and flower shops on the side of the road. Very quiet, very quiet. We cut to the beach. We cut to the beach chat, and it's very quiet. And then we just cut to this random scene. I guess we're just at we're back at the hotel, and you just hear these birds going, caw, 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 and you see these terrible little GIF images, chat, of these birds just kind of floating over the hotel, like not really, going forward, just kind of staying up in the air like this, which again, that can't actually happen, chat. They got to move forward. They can't just flap their wings in place. And it looks so fake and awful. The thing is, though, chat, the bird noise, the cackling, I guess they just did not approve of the sexual intercourse that occurred last night between Rod and Natalie, and that upset the entire balance of fucking nature, chat. Like, this is an issue. We cannot stand for this, all right? These two cannot be compatible. It will end the world. His soulless seed has gone into her fruitful womb, and it will create an abomination this world has never beholden before. We have to stop this from happening again. We're fucked. We're fucked. And God's chosen instrument, chat, nature's chosen instrument of death, of no more sex between Natalie and soulless Rob is the birds, chat. And Rod and Natalie wake from their sexual intercourse, chat. I mean, they're done with the sex, but they wake up, chat, because they're exhausted from all the sex they had, and they peek outside the window and they see the caw, 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 and Rod's like, Natalie, I think there's something wrong with the birds. It's like, okay. And she looks outside and she sees the birds flapping, and they see one of the birds fly down and slit a motherfucker's throat. And he dies. They're like, oh my God. And the birds start dive bombing the windows, but not really. They kind of just fly up to them, and it sounds like they're hitting it, but they're not hitting it, chat. You have someone outside the door going like that. It's probably fucking director Nougat doing that, harassing poor Natalie. And so they say, we have to barricade our room. It is the only way. And so they move the mattress, Chad. They take off the mattress and they put it against the windows, and then they just sit there. Time passes, chat, and the birds just leave. And Natalie and Rod, they put on their clothes. We actually watched them put on their clothes. They step out of the hotel room and they're like, we need to look for survivors. And you'll occasionally see some like extras like laying down the ground, like they're all dead. And they go into another room, chat, where we're introduced to the characters of Tony and Becky. And we have we have the introduction scene because they're like, Tony and Becky are like, who are you? And it's like, hi, my name is Rod. Hi, my name is Tony. This is my girlfriend, Becky. Right. This is my girlfriend, Natalie. Right. The birds are attacking. All right, good. I'm glad we got through that very quickly. It was awkward as fuck, but we got through it. And he's like, if we only, and Tony says, listen, I have some firearms in my car. If we get to my car, we can use the firearms on the birds. And Rod's like, Tony, that's a great idea, but what are we going to use to get to your car? I have an idea. Great. And they go to the closet and they grab these coat hangers, like wire coat hangers, chat. They then exit each person gets a coat hanger. They exit the room and they're like, I don't see the birds. Oh, there they are. And the birds go, caw-caw, 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 and they start attacking them. But thankfully, chat, oh, thank God, they have those goddamn coat hangers, right? And they start swiping at the fucking birds as they finally get to the car. Thankfully, Tony, he has an M16 assault rifle, chat. He grabs this fucking thing and by the way, it looks like an airsoft gun. It's like those shitty looking like airsoft weapons you can pick up at a dollar store, chat. It's like, you can buy this and it looks realistic. And like those Uzi guns you can get like at a dollar store. The stuff, like, they just took off, you can tell it's fake because it has the little orange like nozzle at the end of the barrel, and they just took that off. And they're like, all right, here we go. And so and also Rod, he gets everyone, I think everyone gets a gun, a handgun. But Tony, he's like, well, I got a small dick, so I got to use the assault rifle. And so they shoot the birds, and you see these awful after effects, these little blood squibs going off, and it's like there's no practical effects, and they fall to the ground. And they get in the car. And then they just drive. They just drive for a while. And they talk about what is making the birds do these things. And, you have Natalie's like, recently I saw a documentary and it was about how nature will fight back against man if we continue to abuse the planet. Tony's like, that's fucking stupid hippie liberal shit. And Natalie goes, don't say that to me. And Rod's like, hey, do not speak to her that way. He's like, oh, that's how it is. And eventually they keep driving and they stop at this. There's multiple scenes of them stopping out the side of the road when they see like occasionally like a car parked there. What's so funny, chat, you have a shit ton of cars going vroom, 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 like right by them, not knowing what's going on. It's like, are they making a movie? It's like, are they making a movie? Oh, well, shit. Like, no idea. But they stop by. There's these two cars here, chat. And we see this family, see this wife and husband, and this maybe their grandpa, and they've been disemboweled by the birds, chat. The birds have gotten them. It's like, oh Jesus. And we see this little boy. He's like under a picnic. He's like, help me and my sister. My parents are fucking dead. And they're like, oh my God, that boy's parents and possibly his sister's parents are dead. They're the same fuck. Anyway, so they take the boy. And they just grab him. Come here. They take him and put him in the car. And then they go for the little girl who's underneath the car. And they're like, well, we should send someone there to talk to the girl, on her level, on an emotional human level. Who do you think they sent, chap? Who do you think they said? Rod! They sent Rod over. The last person you want to talk to in this scenario. And he's like... Because she's under the car. He had some makeup on her. Looks like she got her fucking, they try to go on her wrist, chat. Try to bite at her wrist or something. They're all bloody and stuff. And she's under the car. And he's like, hi, we're going to take you to safety. She goes, no, the birds killed my mom and dad. No. He's like, yes, your parents are dead. Come here. And he just grabs her. And he just pulls her from under the car. And she's like, no. no, it's just screeching and screaming, and he just like lifts her like, and he puts her in the car, and the birds come back. The birds do come back. He's like, hey, we want to eat that bitch. We're gonna eat her. And fucking Tony, he's like, and they kill all the birds. They shoot all the birds, and they get back in the car and they keep driving. You're introduced to the kids, Billy and I don't know, Sarah. I don't know their names. It doesn't matter, chat. They drive for a while. Eventually, Billy and Sarah's like, we're hungry. We don't care about our dead parents anymore. You're our parents now. And Todd's like, yes, we're like a family. And Natalie's like, I don't know if I'm ready for kids. Todd's like, I don't think you have a choice. And she goes, yeah, you're right. They need someone right now. And it's like, let's get them food. And so they go to a gas station. They go to multiple gas station convenience stores. This is the first one they go to, and it's pretty much been ransacked. I guess the cashier had her eye that's like, they stole this from Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. You see that her eyes have been gouged out, but you can also see like the gouge are like moving subtly because her lids are like right there, and they just put some black paint on them. But it's like, hey, her eyes got gouged, not really. And so like, oh, do not bring the children over here. They cannot see this. But Todd is like, talking to Tony. He says, listen, they will need to be exposed to things like this in the future. The world is changing. The birds, they're attacking. He's like, I know. And so they just peruse the aisles for about like a minute and a half. They grab, sandwiches. Like, let's buy the jarred foods and the canned foods because it's going to last a long time. They only take enough for like a day's worth of food. Just like take all the fucking food. They take like a couple sandwiches, a couple bottles of water, and that's it. It's like, I would stop, like, get the fucking car loaded with all this bullshit. We don't know how long this is going to last. And they take enough for maybe like a lunch. It's like, are you serious? All right, let's go. And so the birds are like, God, no, don't take the food. And the birds attack, and they're shooting in with the assault rifle and things. And then they all pile in the car, and then they go to a park. They go to like a beachside park, and even though we're in the middle of a birdemic, chat, of a bird apocalypse, the birds are now slaughtering man, woman, and child. They're like, let us eat outside. So they park the car, and they walk like a good distance away from it, chat, like a pretty good distance away. Like, I'd say hundreds of feet away. And they sit at a picnic table, they unwrap their sandwiches and start drinking their water, and that's it. They just do that. Eventually, though, Natalie, she's like, I see a man over there. And Todd's like, Rod's like, we should go over and see who he is. And so Rod and Natalie, they go over and they see this man who's just on this like metal bridge over this small pond or whatever. It's like an observatory bridge. You can look in and see the flora and fauna and stuff. And he's like, no, don't come over here. There are birds here. There are dead birds here, and they are infected with something. I don't know what it is, but it could possibly infect you. And they go, oh no, we're still gonna come over. And so they come over to him and they go, Who are you, sir? He's like, my name is Dr. Jones. I'm an ornithologist. I study birds. And they're like, whoa, do you know what's happening, Dr. Jones? He's like, well, man has had a serious impact on our environment, on this environment for so long, on Mother Earth, and it's caused mass extinctions. Did you know that every day that there is a species going extinct, every 24 hours, it's just this guy they find. It's just this random guy who starts lecturing them about the planet. It's like, okay. And we see like the dead gift birds like just kind of sitting there like, all right, this is our life at this point. And then eventually they're like, thank you, Dr. Jones. No problem. You stay safe. Thank you. And they leave. They don't bring them with them. They're just like, okay, I guess we're just gonna move on. Eventually, they ate all their food, Chad. They ate all their food, and they're like, oh. Becky, especially. Becky ate like a lot of food. She's like, I need to poop. Becky needs to poop, Chad. And so they apparently have a copious amounts of toilet paper in the car. So they walk back everyone walks back to the car. And Becky's like, oh, I gotta poop. And Natalie's like, I'll go with you and watch. And so they go together. And we get another great line. Because what's his name? Todd's asking, "Hey, where's Becky?" And Rod goes, "Oh, she went with her. Where's Becky? Where's Becky?" And he goes, "Oh, she went to take a shit." and Natalie's watching her back. It's like she's gonna actually like watch her take a shit. Okay, and they laugh. They go, ha, ha, ha. They laugh at that line. Eventually, chat, we get to one of my favorite scenes of the fucking movie, where they walk down this trail. Becky goes slightly off the trail, like not even like deep into the bushes, just like a bush over. Like, Natalie's standing so close to her, you can hear her go, like all that shit. And so Becky goes to this one bush over, chat. She squats down and she's like, all right, here we go. The thing is though, chat, the birds are there. The birds, and this is a horrible situation to be in, chat. Horrible situation, because Becky is like, she's got a lot of poop inside of her tummy. And she's like mid poop at this point. So it's not a good scenario, no matter what. Now, she could do several things. Chat. She could finish pooping, but then the birds would definitely get her. There's no question about that. They would swoop down, and they would kill her. No question. Now, what she can do, it's not a great scenario, chat, but she can... her butt cheeks can go, all scissory. Like, chat, every one of you are taking a shit, and you're like, you have a nice clean shit. It's like, oh, nice. But sometimes, chat, your cheeks betray you. Your cheeks betray you. Your butthole betrays you, and it's scissors, and it's not a clean poop. And it's like, oh, no. And that it's like, when you have, like, a clean one, it's like, all right, not much maintenance after that, chat. You wipe it, do all that. But when your butt cheeks start and your hole starts scissoring, it's like, oh, this isn't good. It's going to require, like, more cleanup. There's no doubt about that. And so she could do that, yeah. But, it'd be hard for her, though, because then she would have, like, a poopy ass. And, she has her pants and her underwear down. And so she would get up. She'd have to pull up really quick, or she just kicks them off, chat. But then for the rest of the movie, she'd have a poopy ass. And Todd's not going to let her back in the car, chat. And so Becky makes a decision just like, fuck, I'm just going to finish pooping and see what happens. And so Becky, she finishes pooping. And the bird's like, you fucked up. You should have scissored it. And they kill her. They just go down there. They slit her fucking throat, chat. They gouge out her eyes. And her body just falls in her poop pile. Natalie goes, oh my God. And she runs away. And she goes back to the car. And Todd's like, what happened to Becky? And she's like, man, I'm sorry, she's dead. Todd's like, oh no. Anyway, and so then the birds come and they start shooting out the windows. Todd's very angry at this point. He's like, and he's shooting. But then the car leaves. The car just goes. And they just drive down the road. Todd mourns for Becky, for a bit, chat. Eventually, they come to like a bus station area. It's a very iconic scene in the movie, chat, where they stop off because they see some people in this double-decker bus, which I don't even see those in the United States. I mostly see them, like, in Europe. I remember always seeing them. I guess they're in Los Angeles. I do see them there. I've just used to see them, like, in the UK and stuff. That's in movies and things. But they have this double-decker bus, and you have these people just trapped in it, just going, but they're all in the windows, and they're going, help us, like maybe 3 or 4 people. And Todd's like, we gotta fucking save those people. And they're like, man, we can't help them. We can't fit all of them in here. He's like, I don't care. I want to save people. And they're like, all right. And so they park the car. And Rod, he stays back because the birds are all there. The birds are there and shit. And, Todd's like, ah! And Todd shoots all the fucking birds, chat. He shoots all the birds. And Rod, he holds it down near the car, chat, shooting them so you don't get near Natalie and the children. Todd, he goes in the bus. The hilarious thing is, even though the people are like, help us, they don't want to leave. And so it's like, you're giving mixed signals here, movie. You're like, no, don't touch us. We're not going to leave. It's too dangerous to go outside. Then why are you fucking screaming for help? You want people to pick you up? You want people to, why you, then all of a sudden you're like, no, we don't want to go. What are you doing? I think maybe in mid-scene they didn't know what they wanted to do. But Todd, he just starts, I'm trying to fucking save you. He's like pointing the gun at them. Let me save you. I'm doing this for Becky. I couldn't save her. We don't know who Becky is. I don't care. She pooped. She pooped. And so then he just has them all on gunpoint. And they go outside the bus. And then the birds are there. The birds happen. And they're like, caw. And so it's like, he's shooting them all. And people are like, oh, the whole time. And I don't know, this might be a new bird type shit. Maybe it's like Left 4 Dead. Because you know, like in Left 4 Dead, like the zombies, the infected, you have like the regular ones, sure, but then you get like the special infected, like, you know, the hunters and the smokers and the boomers, Chad, and the tanks and all that. And I guess these were some kind of special infected birds because when he shoots them, chat, they explode and it just rains down acidic viscera and gore and piss and shit upon Todd and the survivors, chat, and it just fucking melts them. And they're like, ah, 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 ah. They're just screaming in horrible pain as this acidic bird bile. I don't know what it is, chat. I'm very confused. I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe it's the disease, and it just, when it touches human skin, it just kills you. And so they die. They fucking melt. And Todd's like, oh no. All right, let's go. And they pile back in the car, and they give one kind of sad sweep around Todd and the survivors, which he threatened at gunpoint trying to save them, as they just melt into the fucking cement. That's what happens, chat. Oh boy. Eventually, they keep driving for a while, and the kids are like, we're hungry again. They're like, fuck, but we don't have any food. And it's like, well, let's stop off at the side of this road right here. This is a national park. We could forage like our ancestors. Did you know they treated the environment far kindly than they did, than we're currently doing now? Yes, they domesticated animals, but they only took enough to eat. They made sure not to abuse. I get it, movie. I get it. They get out, they get out of the car, and then the kids are like, we're thirsty, we're gonna go drink that. And they go to this creek, Chad, they go to this random stream, and these kids just starts drinking all the water. Now I'm like, well, at that point, they're gonna be filled with parasites. You're gonna be pooping like Becky. You're gonna be pooping all the time. It's like, and fucking Todd and Natalie are just like, oh, look at these little scamps, just filling their tummies full of parasites. It's like, that's not good. And then, Chad, we get one of the creepiest fucking characters in the movie. Because we have this Schmeagle man, chat, this Schmeagle man with this Party City wig just appear behind a tree, just look up behind a tree, goes, how you doing, kids? And I go, ah! And they're like, oh, don't be scared, don't be scared. I just want to welcome you to my home. And they're like, your home? Where do you live? He's like, why, I live everywhere. And I'm like, excuse me. I live everywhere. The forest is my home. And I'm like, okay, all right. Would you like to join me in my home? No, no. But he says, I live right up there in that treehouse I built with my two hands. And they look up there. It's like, yeah, that's a GIF of a treehouse. That's a JPEG that you put on a tree. Okay. And they're going, what are you doing? Don't you know about the birds? He goes, oh, the birds. They don't bother me. They don't bother me none. Don't worry about that. The ones I'm worried about are the cougars. Now, the cougars, hoo-wee! I see a cougar get a man by the throat, and he ripped that throat out. I tell you what, no, it's okay. The birds are our friends. Did you know that in California, even though they say they protect the redwood trees, that they knock down hundreds of redwood trees a year? It's awful. And he just goes in a monologue about trees and deforestation, Chad, and how we should use digital media instead of paper. It's like, I get it, movie, I get it. And he's like, well, would you guys like to come up to my treehouse? I have candy. And they're like, nah, we're good. He's like, all right, you sure? And then we hear this, rawr, rawr, this lion, cougar sound effect. And he goes, oh, hell, the cougars are coming. Run for your lives. And they're like, oh, and they start running. And like, God, this guy, this fucking tree hugger's like, oh, I gotta get up. And he's eating, Chad, thank God. So he can never accost or kidnap any children. Fucking tree hugger, Billy or Tommy or Todd, whatever the hell his name is, Chad, he is defeated. He is killed. And so they run back to the car, and they get in the car, and then they stop at a gas station, and because they got to get more supplies, but only enough. If this one is actually being operated, yeah. This one actually is like still in business. You actually see other people in the background, like real life paying customers going, are they making a movie? That's what you see. The gas station, well, the cashier He's jacked up the price of all the gas. It's 100 gallons. It's $100 a gallon. And they're like, but sir, that is outrageous. He goes, I know, but we live in dark, troubled times. Todd and Rod goes, that is true. Fair enough. And he pays for the gas. He buys, like, I think he only has enough for, like, the guy's only taking cash because I guess the electricity's out, even though the electricity is fucking on the store. It doesn't make any fucking, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Chad. So, so they have these gallons of gasoline. They put it in the car along with, at this point, it's the podcast, just fucking shoot him and take everything. That's what you do. They have a little bit of food, and they also gave some antibiotics to the kids because their tummies are engorged with parasites, so they're not doing great. They're not really doing great, the kids, Sarah and Billy. And then they're driving down the road, and then they see this guy, we're going to park to the side of the road because there's other guys there. This guy in a cowboy hat. He's like, hey, y'all, I could really use your help now. And they're like, what do you need, sir? He's like, listen, I fucked it up. I ran out of gas. And I can't move my car anymore, and the birds are getting a bird coming. I don't want no bird coming down on me and killing me now. Could I have some of your gas? And Rod's like, there's so many guys of just Todds and Rods and Ricks. Say very generic names. And he's like, I'm sorry, sir. I just spent hundreds of dollars on only a couple gallons of gas. And he's like, oh, you had gas in? You got gas then, boy? And he goes, yes, sir, I do have gas. Oh, that's great now. Yeah, he pulls out a fucking gun. And here's my gun. And they're like, whoa. He's like, now, you go ahead. You get out of the car now, all right? And you give me no gallons of gasoline, all right? I need that gasoline. All right? And they're like, okay, sir, okay. And it's like, now, you keep them youngins in there. You keep that woman. Hey, girl. Hey, she pretty. Does she suck your dick? And it's like, what? It's like, no. And so he's like, now you get out here now. You open the trunk here. You open the trunk. And he's like, all right, sir, I'll do this. He goes to the back. This guy's got like this giant, massive gut. Did you drink from the same stream and your belly's full of parasites too, sir? It's like, are you pregnant, sir? And so they go to the back of the car. And he opens it, and he's like, there is the gallons of gasoline. Like, I like that now. I like gasoline. Yeah, good. It's going to be good for me. But, sir, we have nowhere else to go. He's like, nah, it's survival fit. This is an apocalyptic situation now, all right? So, I can't help you, all right? I appreciate you, but fuck you, all right? Ha-ha! And he backs away, with the revolver, the gallons of gas, and this bird just comes down and goes, ah! And he goes, ah, hell! And it slashes his throat, Chad. He goes, he just goes to the side of the road. He gets the longest death scene on anybody. He goes, he just drops dead. And then Rod just gets back in the car, doesn't even pick up the gallons of gasoline, Chan, puts it back. He says, no, fuck that. He just goes back in the car and takes off. You have a gun, though. You have a gun at this point. It doesn't matter. So they drive until they run out of gas. And the kids are like, we're hungry. The parasites demand food. They demand food in our tummies because the kids are so engorged with parasites, chat, that they need food at this point. They're like, all right, well, the parasites won. We got to go. But thankfully, chat, they noticed that Todd and Becky. Oh, no, I missed a whole part. My apologies. Got to back up. Reverse it, chat. Reverse it. So before this, they're driving down the road. The car is like, it's on E right now. It's on empty, chat. And they see like this whole line of cars down there of all these people like sticking. I was like, oh, these people got killed by the birds. And they notice like, oh my God. Because Natalie starts having a panic attack. And Rod's like, what is it, Natalie? He's like, that's Mai's car. Oh no. And they stop the car. And she gets out of the car. And they go to Mai's car, and we see, chat, that big dick Rick, chat. He's been killed by the birds. The birds have ripped his eyes out. His eyes have been gouged out, slit his throat, and, chat, they ate his big dick, his big flaccid penis, chat. There's blood down there. And then we also see Mai. And she's almost dead because she had her throat slit and her eye got eaten out of her skull. And, her wrists got eaten too. I don't know why the wrists are eaten. Chad, doesn't make any sense. Unless the birds just aim for that. I don't get it. But then now he's like, Mai, hold on, Mai. And Mai says, forgive them. Forgive the birds. And she dies. And it's like, all right. And they get back in the car and they drive some more until finally the car runs out of gas. It runs out of gas, chat. They park it, and they're like, all right. And the kids are like, the parasites to be in food. And they're like, all right, all right. And they see that there is some fishing gear in the back. So there's a fishing rod and tackle and all that stuff. And it's like, let us fish as our ancestors did. Long before we pillaged, I know, movie, I know. And so they get out there. And it's like, I shall fish. That's what, they just go out in the open, Chad. They park the car. They just go down to the beach. He starts fishing, and then Natalie is with the kids like, let's get some seaweed, and we can make a seaweed salad. Yay! And so they pick up all this disgusting sand-covered seaweed. I'm not a seaweed guy. I don't like seaweed, chat. Maybe sushi, sure. Like a seaweed salad, no fucking thank you. And they pick up all the seaweed. Rod, he catches one fish. And I love this because it's obvious that these guys did not watch like a survival. Like I like to watch like survival videos, chat. Like okay, but very realistic ones where it's like you have this guy. And like all he does is he deep sea fishes, he goes to like these little islands off the coast, and I don't know, in the Gulf or something, and he just spears all these fish or just fishes, and he guts them. He does everything. He explains like, you gotta get all the guts. You gotta remember the parasites. You gotta definitely fucking cook this all the way through, okay? And fucking Rod and Natalie, they just take the fish. They somehow have this little pot they fill with seawater, which I'm like, I don't think you can do that. And they just put the fish inside. With all the guts and intestines and parasites in there, because at this point, they're all filled with parasites, and they cover it, and then time passes, I assume. They take the pot off, and the fish is cooked, and they start cutting it up, and they start feeding the kids the fish, and like, it doesn't taste good. It's like, eat it! And they eat the seaweed salad, and it's disgusting. They're like, we want McDonald's. And they're like, Ronald is dead. They're all sad. Sheldon with 20 minutes, and welcome to stream. Hope you're doing very well. And they eat the fish, and the birds attack. Ah, the birds are coming. They're like, oh no, everyone back to the car. And so they get back to the car, and the birds have encircled them at this point. They're like, oh shit, here it is. Like all the birds are there. Like, you're the only last living humans. We gotta kill you. They're like dive bombing chat the car. They've both run out of bullets. Both Natalie and Rod have run out of bullets in their little shitty pistols chat. They're fucking eagle eyes though, because they're shooting all of them and everything. And they're like, at this point, no, they have like 4 bullets left at this point. And it becomes the mist because Rod is like, there's only one way out of this now. I'm like, are you fucking serious? You're going to rip off the mist? They don't do that. I wish they did though, chat. Because that would have been better. I would like, you know what would fucking shock me? The shock and terror, chat, is if he fucking kills the Natalie and kills the kids and kills himself. And there's the message. Man should not be the ruler of this world. He doesn't respect it. It's like, wow, what a dark, fucked up message. At least he has something. No, they're just in the car. They're cowering. And then you see this flock of owls come in. And the flock of owls fly next to the birds. And I guess attacks them? I don't really know. And then they stop attacking. And they fly away. They fly off towards the ocean. And then Rod, Natalie, and the kids in their engorged parasite bellies waddle out. And they just go down to the beach. And for the next 5 minutes, chat, they just look out. And then the credits come up. The credits just come up. They just come up. And then you hear them talking. Why do you think the birds stopped attacking us? I don't know. Like, that's the last line. I don't know. And that's Birdemic. Shock and terror, chat. I hope you enjoyed the review. Honestly, some of the bird stuff at the 30 minutes where we get the bird stuff is legitimately funny and easy to mock and laugh at. But whoo boy, you have to go through 47 minutes of nothing. Happening. So it's a hard watch. I mean, I don't know if I can quite give it a fuck you. It's like a low sumo bullshit, chat. It's a very low sumo bullshit. I don't know. Maybe it is a fuck you. I don't know. I'm going back and forth, chat. It's like that last 3 minutes can be pretty fucking fun, but man, you got to sit through a lot. I would say this. I told you the 47 minutes. I'll tell you again. The way to watch this movie is to watch it with a commentary. Watch it with Rich Tracks. Watch it with my commentary. Available on my Patreon, $2 tier level, chat. That's the only way I can tell you to watch this. Do not watch this by itself. It is way too fucking painful. It's too painful to do it, Chad. That's what that would be actually very entertaining by itself. Yeah, it's a fuck you. It's a fuck you on the DT scale. Now, ready? 5 out of 5 dancing white people. But I hope you enjoyed my review, chat, of Birdemic: Shock and Terror. I think that was probably one of my better ones. That's one of my best ones, chat. I'm pretty proud of myself. I think I did a goddamn good job. Get Corey in the game to watch it. Mention it to them. Mention it to them, chat. I think they'll be. I hope they'll do it someday. I think it'd be fun. Oh Lord. Oh my God. Bravo. Now that is what I call cinema. Martin Scorsese would be like, if he watches it in the theater, he'd be like, that's cinema. It's true. It does have a superhero in it, chat. Cinema. That's how it is, chat. That's how it is. Whew, my friends. I will be right back. I need to take a quick break. I need to refill my alcoholic beverage. Actually, you know what, chat? I have a shot right here. I have a very large shot of whiskey right here, chat. And I said I would drink this on stream after I finished this review. I think I deserve this. Luke the Boss, think of the 5 biddies. I think it's all for 10,000 budget. Why buy a used car when you can make a low-quality, shitty movie? And that's what they did. I mean, I guess the movie has been turned into a success over time, chat. It's kind of shitty, though. That's the sad thing, is just the director, Mr. Nguyen. Nougat, as I call him. Not a great guy. A pretty awful person, how he treated the actors and everyone else behind the scenes. So I was sad to hear that. But cheers to that, chat. May the wings of liberty as a feather, your shake the pillows of heaven as we speak. Chat. I'll be right back. Please entertain yourselves amongst yourselves, and I shall return. Stick around, chat.